Please note that this video contains spoilers for the subject and the series and/or franchise leading up to this entry. Put off by how long this video is, don't worry, I try to jam-pack my videos with as much content and as much detail as I possibly can. Anything I feel I can comment on and that I feel you might be interested in, I pretty much put in the video. I try not to repeat myself and talk fairly fast. I either have or will cover other parts of this franchise, and this video either is or will be linked below. I'm not going to restate here what I did or will say in the other video. These videos get long enough as it is. Hello. Now, due to the heat and humidity, I have a little bit of I'm gonna be sniffling a lot and possibly some dry cough, but I am not contagious, so it's safe to watch the video. And I have no intention of blowing my nose or consuming cough syrup while this is running. And I realize that some people would say that I shouldn't be doing video when I am not 100%, but if, the day I catch a fever on a Saturday, or have a fever on a Saturday, that is a Saturday where I won't be doing a video. Or possibly the flu, but nothing less. I haven't even said what the video is yet, just in case you didn't see the title. Allo Allo Season 5 Series Thoughts, Show Thoughts. Starting with Desperate Doings in the Dungeon. And let's see, here we go. I may also clear my throat at points. Coming from the bottom of her wheelchair. He can sleep between Mimi and Yvette. He is a barbarian twit. And her singing now shatters glass. Now, that's an addition. How is your back? From time to time, I do get a bit stiff. And now the Undertaker runs the taxi service. I forgot it was a running joke to keep people's hands out of the till. I guess it didn't mean much to me when I was younger, but yeah, considering that they are worried about money, yeah. If these interruptions continue, I shall not say it at all. Poor Michelle, the writers have recently really underlined how much pressure she's under. That all seems perfectly straightforward. That is a problem. And the Colonel was asleep at his desk. I love the General's plan. Miss Looney. Knowing they're the enemy's bags, Mimi kicks and throws them. Make it 6, we can put the other 5 on the menu. I think the bull race has gone. There was a flash and a bang, and then everything has gone dead. I will fraternize. Because I can shoot 10 yards. Do not nitpick. And the Brits are hiding in the trash. René looks absolutely priceless as Himmler. I love Gruber and the Colonel as Gestapo. And they keep accepting he's Himmler because of him, hitting people. What took you so long? I'm not coming out unless you promise not to hit me. Gruber makes such a polite Gestapo. These dungeons are very drafty. I know where it is going to. And moving on. The camera and the potato. And yeah, once again, these episode you know, the Wikipedia's episode, what's it called? Write-up is incredibly detailed, so that's why there's a pause. And I now know that I have to. Here's hoping that the camera does not give out this time. Now, yeah, they're very detailed for this show. Now, that's hence the short time sometimes of dead air between me, you know, saying the title of an episode and me starting to get into the notes. And with it, you can get into the cinema before 5 o'clock. I love the potato camera. With dreams like that, you hardly need me. And they accidentally electrocute each other, and more than once. Nobody stands up the Gestapo. This is a very common fault with our generals. It's kind of true. There were a lot of attempts on Hitler's life, and unfortunately none of them worked. And Helga has to guess what the bulge is. Very subtle, Colonel. And Leclerc drops the glasses to do the salute. That's also a really good running gag. And Mimi wants to assassinate the Nazi general. Nobody is too busy for a general. Uh-oh. You may leave the helmet and the goggles. My smallers with the smallers. Say you are on your way to a bring your own potato party. I love how later he starts to, yeah. And then he's like, no, I'm not going to say that. I am not insured against the RAF. I will ensure the RAF do not drop one. And they start to cook the potato. And Gruber wants to cut it in half. Probably the RAF, they are due this time. You know, that's what happens when you keep, you know, he eventually forget who you're keeping what secret from, so he's like, oh, well, as we both know, the RAF, you know, as if it was like Edith who had forgotten, and he was talking to her, and the safe, and it's behind the, yeah, and he gets the picture. Moving on to dinner with the general. And here we go. There we go. Both German officers lie about where they are to make it seem like they're more courageous than they are. And Smallhausen is hypnotized. Irregular twitching. Thanks for sharing. Where I keep my fluids. I trust you do not deny women your essence. Fog the film. And only now does the Undertaker tell Edith about the cheating. I realize the reason the flower pots Fanny throws explode before hitting the actors is for safety, but it is kind of cool in a weird way that they have and use flower pot grenades in this universe. The safe is Franz Jäger from Berlin. The rest in the nick. Couldn't I wait until the pudding? Always a child. It is I, Leclerc. And the captain wants to buy the putty. Very subtle performance, Colonel. This is quite natural. And Helga recognizes Gestapo. I do not know it, but hum it and we will follow. It is I, Leclerc. Moving on to the dreaded circular saw. Am I reasonably centered here? I'm reasonably centered here. I guess, there we go. And here we go. My lungs have cleared. I forgot to say it when I brought up just having watched Where Eagles Dare before doing the last video. That movie is also about finding the plans for a major military maneuver and another front. Oh, in my own music? Now didn't hide it. No, that is the first place they will look. Well, they are out of their clothes. And they survived and are just covered in soot. Very Looney Tunes. They are the original paintings. Yes, in coffins. And Mimi has to jump in order to reach the upper lock on the door to the cafe. With you, we don't need anyone else in this war. I cannot say, but it is not me. René and Roger look absolutely comical marching past privates. And they have to pose as German officers because they won't be shot for that. And thank you, Hanky Panky. Come in here. Come in here. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot to put that thing on silent. And here we go. I hope it's not enough of that particular thing to get this audio, what's it called? Audio removed. He deserves it. Not trusting drawers or sausages. We have a problem. Change of plan. Don't press the red button. What do you think I am going to be losing? It will not work, my friend. It does not look like that was what was going on. 10 seconds later, nothing would have worked. And poor Smallhausen. And of course there are Gestapo tweezers and there's a swastika on the kettle. I remember him very well. The Berlin in June Mozart tunes thing sounds like a poem or song lyrics or something. I couldn't quite find out if they were from Google. The stew is in the oven. Howl Hutler. My feet will not reach the pedals. It was my dearest wish that this would happen. Careful, Edith. Watch out for that obvious dummy of Crabtree. There is obviously no piss for the wicked. Indeed. Otherwise engaged. There we go. And very near the top. We all want peace, but how do you get it? With a knife. You're halfway there already. Beat away, I will not talk. Thank you. Oh, that's just a birthmark, and I'll thank you not to stare. And we get the whole birthmark story. He let me hold his worms. Funny running gag of all the women wanting René. Basically the only female characters who have names or are not in love with René are Michelle, the occasional named resistance member of hers, or the communist resistance, Helga and Fanny, and Fanny is his mother-in-law. In this position, this is not very good news. Funny discussion about the busted pissoir and tank. Saw the film. Probably get a decent cup of tea as well. And the day before I watched this episode, the abridged script of 1998 Avengers was put online. The running gag of how literally every line involved the word tea, because they're British, is quite good. He certainly doesn't speak ours. No, you have lost. And she already wants to marry René. And now the Brits are obsessed with giving themselves up and keep going wrong. And it keeps going wrong, sorry. They think René will die, so the Undertaker tries to marry Edith. Well, this may not be easy, but we can practice. We intend to. And he has to tell them that he has to marry Denise. And 3 occurrences of Oh My Dicky Dicker. A Marriage of Inconvenience. There we go. Maybe that's where I should keep it. I should. You have missed a bit. I will slip it into conversation. And now Edith says Michelle's catchphrase. The loony left. Oh great, Michelle's a Republican. She is a good Catholic. You have lost us 2 staff cars. Lucky you remembered to put the cork back in. And René getting all sentimental. Consummate? You have perfected the obvious. And Mimi kicks him in the shin. How much? Burglars cannot be choosers. An automatic with a silencer on it. And he sits on the toilet. And he gets some toilet paper to wipe his eyes. Mind your own business. Organist. Russian front. Things that I cannot mention in church. I wonder how many comedy scenes involve weddings. Like Goldfish. And then they do. And they give themselves away. And the veil is so thick that she's bumping into people. What have you done to this girl? I love René's reaction to seeing it's Edith, and he literally thinks that he's hallucinating. Not in your burgle trousers, you're not. It is not the Pope, is it? And it's Crabtree. Conducted in Latin. No hiding place. Maybe I should keep it here. Trying to figure out where best to keep the pen when I'm not using it. One word of the ceremony. I will send sandwiches down. Consummated? I had expected that little things into big things would have gotten a laugh. Unfortunately, Denise found a shovel. Oh heck, it hurts. I see René is going for being allowed to stone someone in Life of Brian. Je t'adore. Shut the window, I don't care. God, come in here. Open the window. Will Helga really have time to protect René? She's frequently busy. Ask him. It was until now. And the Gestapo sees through the disguise immediately. I thought of it. And no one will lock René out no matter how much he requests it. No, not that one. And I also wish to tell the time. And no one will accept the airman's surrender either. Don't you know there's a war on? Taking our business elsewhere. Wimbledon. And René lifts his glasses. It is I, Leclerc. It was a clock. It will be ready a week on Thursday. And she has a stuffed animal, a yipping mechanical one. Makes me want to rewatch Wiener Dog. I was hoping for a place a bit closer. And the lieutenant as a pimp. And the wine is acid. Can you not see I am my father? Did someone do the nasty and the pasty? Jumping the queue. They are to blame. I will never leave you again. The democratic process must take its course. And the arrival of the homing duck. Excuse me. I fell off the back of a lorry. At least I fell out. Do they know where I live? To pose. Identifying this one hand will be quite a task. Go to it. As if women of the streets, no. Suspenders suspended. Brass. My big one. I shall have to do it slowly. Mimi singing and dancing is a lot of fun. Already it has aged her considerably. If they don't hurry up, there won't be any war left. You may iron my shirt. I hate wrinkly ones. It came through the window on a break. Now. So was mine. In my pockets. It is a long-distance duck. Have a sleep. Waterproof containers. like how someone always has to translate Crabtree, in this case Yvette. It is I, Leclerc. We see a lot less of Bergerelli than we did of Hans. They're both captains. There Bergerelli is. We thought you were gone for good. And watch the birdie. And here we go. Edith with a bucket on her head. This will not be visible. Put out your right arm. Oh, it's the hokey pokey. You will find a little knob. I think so, yes. Decent plan. Rubber hand maker. And none. Getting thin on top. You, take off your clothes. Does not that usually wait until the honeymoon? What did you expect? White leather? Now go away, and they lift him back out instead of just letting him walk. You will be oiled. You will be well oiled. The veil makes it look like she's going to a funeral. There tends to be only one meaning to flashing knob. Not that one. Excuse me, I have mothballs. Marriage with this man. It is I, Leclerc. And the duck escaped. Duck quacker. In my time, I was famous for it. With the big ooter. French general, they all have big ooters. I know it is expensive, and Mimi already killed the Nazi general. I get them mixed up. Edith knows how to give a speech, and the customers all leave. Probably Freemasons. And Bergerelli shoots the duck. I have lost my little knob. Them getting the knob back in the right place is hilarious. I can hardly screw it up. And the general's names are hilarious. And Crabtree is the French general. And the map rolls back. Sweeties. And they both stick down their heads and stare. And they ignore Edith. And he looks up and pours next to the glasses. And René has to translate some of what Crabtree says. Do I include this in the minutes? And they think they've all been poisoned. And him getting the pictures looks hilarious. I am not leaving these sandwiches. René under an assumed nose. Excuse me. Gonna need to do this. And then this. And it should work. Here we go. And here. Attached a chain to a ball. That should hinder his movement. Excuse me. One second. Okay. And there we go. That's better. Come on now. There we go. If we bury people before they are dead, they get very cross. He is snoring. I love the Undertaker taking the duck's temperature. Drip it up and let's hear it. Feather fatigue. Jolly sight better. I love how it keeps saying alone. So much for Michelle being the one major female character not in love with René. That just leaves Helga. When they're listening to Michelle and René by themselves, so many double entendres in so little time. It is a long-distance lady duck. Now you have made her broody. Pretend to be dying. Goodbye, Michelle of the Resistance. She's delirious. The radio farts on and the duck quacks. Good improv, Mimi. There is a war on. I love the captain being nice to Flick. I keep meaning to say so now I will. I can hardly believe that they got away with calling the Italian captain that slur, and so many times added, you know, the word starts with W, 3 letters, yeah. Put her finger on it. When I paralyze a man, he remains paralyzed. Screw down the lid. And René disguises himself as the French general who they're looking for. And the plastic explosive nose, and the nose is messed up. René under an assumed nose, and the wig comes out, and he throws it out, and it explodes, and it hits Flick. It's very, very nicely. Yeah, that whole thing. The confusion of the generals. Okay, here we go. And here. Just a normal afternoon in wartime France. Taking him over to the vet, so I'd better start combing. I love seeing hair Flick in the bed. He has to use the chain to do the salute. I am testing them one at a time, and the kiss raises his leg, and then the leg goes down. This war is very complicated. I sit here with the French general. Sit, stay. Good. Let's see. A medal, sneaky collaborator, class 1. That is a pretty good plan, General. The general smashes the glass. Another! And now they all have to smash the glass. Ah, Mimi was only pretending to be into René. Green vegetables and Boris Karloff. And Mimi imitates Morse code more than once, and Michelle can immediately understand it. Michelle pretending to be into René, hugging him whilst rolling her eyes, clearly uncomfortable, is starting to be like a borderline rape joke. It's really messed up. For once, someone actually likes one of Leclerc's disguises. Burglar. It's strange to see Mimi all charming, not detached. Roger got the essence of the message. What a lark. And they're all loud, like they're back at base or boarding school without the teacher there. Airmen and generals in the cafe, and they're speaking English together. Get the generals to the shelter, and because of the 2 German generals, there isn't room for the 2 main British airmen in the truck. And then the peasants as generals in the cafe. Who's for the Vatican? And here we go. Bricking myself up until the war is over. Until someone hurt us. On top of each other. Only once. And the pill. I will get you a glass of water. In the vegetable garden. Let's see. We'll have back the pill and the medal. I will not charge. I think you'll need it very soon. Well, Edith, technically you're not married, so you wouldn't have been the widow of a great hero. But I can point. And he starts singing. You will be giving it the Russian front, if you give the wrong answer. You will also pack yourself, and you will take your boring mother with you. I can see our course of action very clearly, now that the rain is gone. We will cut her out. Your boring mother. And Helga heard it all, and tells the Gestapo. Pull it. And he's doing the leg kicks to the music. Everybody out. They go the other way. He don't do nothing for nothing. Gruber isn't the only one who can point. Screw the bayonets. I must admit. And they lift the colonel into the tank. Hand me my bottle. It must have been there a long time. Gestapo, baby. I'm getting pram sick. Pistol concealed in my dolly. How very nice Boy Scout. Mimi looks even more hilarious when René bounces the carriage. And a trap. Now, that brings us to ripping the bonk. Now, let's see. And here. I love Mimi's face right before her first line. Not the Mickey Mouse binoculars. I'm enjoying the wine. Go to the pictures. And now Edith speaks bad French like Crabtree. And now the Undertaker tells them René was captured. Oh, that's what that was. Shorter than I thought. She wants to call in the RAF. And they actually react as if Denise is shooting them. One of them might be blamed. Get in your way. Mimi pulls great faces in the pram. The General's just a big softy, isn't he? Suddenly I have forgotten the number. And now the Undertaker's all excuses. And Leclerc looks around, not realizing they're talking about him. I know. I shall feel better for it. And suddenly he's doing the string thing much faster. Rust. And they're locked inside the bank vault. It has stopped. I am dead. There is only one match. Right out in the Fifth Element. And they burn his money. And Michelle and Crabtree can't open from the outside because they don't have a stethoscope. Right after this episode, this was the last episode on the particular disc. It the disc played this "Thank you for buying this DVD" ad, and it's all ominous and DVD piracy funds terrorism, and all this, and you got there's one guy who's, I guess, one of the DVD pirates or something, and he's got I forget, red eyes, I think. And then the whole thing ends with this polite British man reading loud the hotline phone number. It's such a contrast, and just it feels like they could have kept the thing going there, there at the end, just to have someone say the number in a badass way or something. It's such a weird contrast. And moving on, the Reluctant Millionaires. And here we are. The M word was considered PC back then. How many are there? Somehow I get the feeling they don't think Edith can sing. They're really running that joke into the ground. Everybody hates you. Dividing up the money is funny. I did not mean for that rhyme. She's disguised as a soldier. Slowly and painfully. Put it down your trousers. If they are French. The colonel, the captain, and the lieutenant. Shouldn't I be walking into a bar somewhere? The resistance girls keep showing up at the window in love with René and needing to be hiding. 15. René smacking Roger on the forehead, very Benny Hill. A duck for launch. A whole squadron, and it makes him hungry. The call to his uncle is great. He keeps hitting him on the head. On medical grounds, my bone spurs are acting up. Albatross. Postnatal depression. Duck welfare. This is a different Denise. René with Denise is very funny. Crabs, I have the crabs. And Conga. And René with the Resistance Girl is great. Not now. And the hedgehog hair. No one with that hair is innocent. We don't have bums rush march, and we don't have bums march, and if we did, they wouldn't rush. We'd be allowed to leave at their own pace. And the duck refuses to fly. The Exploding Bedpan. Excuse me. And here we go. Amongst the neighbors. That's one of my favorite exchanges of the whole show. And I don't quite understand. It's something about the previous episode. If the forged banknotes were 5,000 each, does that mean that the Undertaker was trying... Yeah, this is for the previous episode. Does that mean the Undertaker was trying to use 5,000 to pay for a little bit of fish in the market? That is either a huge tip or really expensive fish. There's no way they can break the change. Or whatever that saying is. He hurts his hand hitting the table with it. They aren't the big ones. Those are the big ones. And they both pound his chest. And the radio voice is just as bad at French. And spits it out, of course. Food poisoning it is. Exploding bedpan. In position. I may have said it before, but I really do love that when the women on the show, when they're trying to pose as men, you know, they'll put on the mustache, but they don't wipe off the red lipstick, you know, making it really obvious. And some of them don't even always wear red lipstick, but they certainly do when they have to wear a mustache. I will grab it. I love the Undertaker dummy. We'll take the machine with us. And now it looks like Mimi having sex with a dummy. Bedpan to control. Why are you talking to a bedpan? And they beep and groan to this tune of, apparently according to the subtitles, it's the saber dance or something called that. That is the signal. And they run to the shelters, freeing up René and the Undertaker. I love them accidentally giving the signal a little too soon. Going like a bomb. And here we go. What a terrible way to go. Everyday occurrence. Doing their nuts. It costs money to forge money. Solution. For a second I thought that Gustavo man was going to say that the fainting was the effect of showing someone the syringe rather than it being that he injects someone. And the money ends up down the captain's pants. Up the back passage. A very big bum. Root. Unscrew their nuts. Dig them out. Our nuts in the dark. Paint. And the heart monitor is great. House with a safe. Do not put my address on it. And René crushes the glass and flicks answering machine. You're wanted in the back room. Pawnbrokers. Private matter between me and my husband. Take down my pants and give you 1,000,000 francs. Undercharging. Let him give it to you. It is I, Leclerc. A man with feathers in his hat. Come with me. Something of interest. Arrest that pillow stuffer. Money to burn. It looks like he's really playing the piano. I did not know that René could play the piano, neither the actor nor the character. I guess it makes sense that the character can. It comes in handy for the position. Down his trousers. Play it again, René. Apparently Denise from the Communist Resistance won't appear again on the show. Ultimately, they didn't get a lot out of her and her crush on René. I don't know. I mean, this is one of the rare cases of British writers providing 20-something episodes for a season of one of their shows. So maybe I don't know. I guess it was like filler. I didn't feel like a lot of stuff on this season was filler. It's always weird when talking about British shows because they call a season a series. And Leclerc almost leaves after Leave Us. I kept waiting for that to happen. I guess I remembered this gag. Something valuable in your trousers. The dress shop. The contents of your trousers. Remove the trousers, and he does it with his own. Rather disappointing. Where is it? And he blows up the bag. I guess that's why he was spitting. Both the spy camera and the money burned in the oven. Don't take the potato in your hand. I think they are still breathing. Well, that's a good start. Unscrew your nuts. You couldn't read in the dark. Can I borrow yours? I've got a crossthread on one of my nuts. I'm not too keen on this idea. Good thing they're doing the trial run. I collect autographs. I really don't think it's my turn. And Crabtree explains why they didn't get the money. So many urination double entendres. Is it double entendre if it's not sexual? Whatever. Keep your chin up. If there's no money, in 2 minutes that's going to be difficult for him. And everyone trying to grab the money. Very Benny Hill. Puddings can't go off. Excuse me. Too good. Too bad. But it is not broken. You walked right into that one. High explosive strudel. 500 Christmas puddings. Cornered the market. A few Christmas puddings. You have a very loose definition of few. Hide the bowl. Hans was better at this. Funnier. Keep fit exercises. Toughening up my feet. A whole Meccano set has fallen apart in there. And he sits in the bowl. Mind your own business. And you will go nowhere with yours. 58 exploding Christmas puddings. I quite like the double meaning in the title of the episode. And she thinks the coffin is for her. No matter what resistance I encounter, that goes down your back passage. And Gestapo monks, not permitted to speak. With all the exploding puddings. Concerns René. Leave this on your doorstep. 6 more girls and a busload coming in at 7 o'clock. And it's puddings, of course, even though it sounded like it would, he had made all these girls pregnant. Be home for supper. Magnifying hats. And they accidentally used the church bells. Can you see anything? Not for long. And the bell dropped on Gestapo. Let's see. Landmines for London. Let's see. Running to time these days. And they're in the barrels. Yes, I have. You have lit the fuse. René dealing with the bombs, very Looney Tunes. Big bang in the cellar. Step on it. Hold the mustard. Below the minimum height, you must be this tall to join the dark side. Conveyed the bad news. Wash those as well. You mean when the hotel caught fire? We're listening very carefully, so get on with it. That is the Gestapo for you. Look at Helga smile at the compliment. Get the captain to do it. Do not even think about it. They are in the landmine store. I just told her that. Yvette gave one of the airmen 4 sausages and leaving only 2 for the other. Someone's playing favorites. René pauses before explaining as if he doesn't have an idea what Crabtree is talking about either. Screw yourself down. I really hope that the 2 actors were not inside the barrels when they were being rolled down, but I would be very surprised if they were. And they swap hats by accident. God, the Gestapo, you are not safe anywhere. And that brings us to flight to Geneva. Excuse me. 8 of its 9 lives. She's already done that bit. It was supposed to be a secret. Sit astride wearing air masks. Helga yells, "Shop!" That's new. And René starts hopping in tune to the soldiers. Not you. There it is. And the lieutenant is wearing Russian front clothes. 60 seconds, like it's hide and go seek. Crumpet mad. Ah, so the paintings are leaving on a night train. I love the Swedish accent and the name. Just ordinary eavesdropping, Colonel. And the general can't see René. My lips are soiled. He told me he loved me. And noon. So much good Crabtree slang in this episode. Goodbye. Too sappy. René leaves and immediately Leclerc's like, which one of you is the mailman? And he passes the notes wrong, of course. All I asked for was a Bloody Mary. And Mimi reads the Yvette note. I love that at first it's out loud and then it's a whisper. And she rereads the kisses. I mean, it's a relatively simple gag, but it really works. Ah, yes, the notoriously strong French unions. Helga is great as sultry Madame X. Reminds me of that Alias episode where, also on a night train. Stop running before you touch the ground. Can you get up without a ladder? Well, whatever gets you there, I suppose. Gets the train engine running, as it were. Train of events. And we're almost there. There we go. And the lieutenant is imitating, waving the flags. And the Gestapo drink of the coffee. At least I would. And the leg keeps sticking out. It is I. He broke the balls. And of course the general wants the statue. Take it out the back passage. I give him too much throttle. An Enigma Variation. And here we go. Almost there. There we are. Considering how much René lies to Edith, it's surprising he's such a reliable narrator when recounting what happens in earlier episodes. Very convenient for the showrunners. Oh my, that cuckoo clock is suffering. He has insomnia. And the Gestapo final exam. Not which painting he painted, but yeah. That's very good. I mean, maybe this is where that joke came from for the producers. The 1967 one, only one I've watched. Concealing a camera test. And Roger walked into the door. Short two people, and in they walk, including the tallest person around. Shaved off his mustache, and Edith removed her lipstick. And Roger and René weren't ready for the music to start. And Roger plays on the side without strings. Vulnerable position. The sticks are finally thrust into them. Into the sausage. Well, I'm not gonna kink shame. And they hadn't thought of the key. Hole in his pocket. And she punches through the case and walks around wearing it. A record of old sausages eaten. You may now eat your sausage. All sausage. Yeah, sorry. Again, voice recording. In the notes. Move the statue. And they move the piano from the inside. The feet are coming from inside the piano. That was the wrong window. And she bounces in frustration. You know, earlier it was the wrong chimney. Now it's the wrong window. And the piano walks back away. And Crabtree sings with his bad French. And that brings us to Wedding Bloss. And here we go. Best before D-Day. I am the Undertaker. On the wings of love. I think the wing is broken. All of who? You're supposed to read them first. Maybe they were just really hungry. That detector is mine, but you can't borrow it. And the mine detector gag, really funny. My favorite animal. And he plays stripper music on the violin. And of course she's naked under there. Excuse me. 3. And both of them. If René is so scared that Edith won't marry him, why does he keep mocking her openly? I will go and tickle my carburetor. Dude, don't be so graphic. Just hang a sock on the doorknob. Frog in the hole. And you will be. Michelle will be there too? Stag night or mission? Mission, I guess. Why doesn't he want Edith to know and to come? And we don't even get to see Operation Waterloo? You're not pronouncing it very well. Same man and wife for a start. Is there a doctor in the house? And then one guy in the crowd's like, I'm a vegan. And the captain puts the oil in the hair. I found them in the cellar. Oh boy. And the new tank. Down the drain. This still isn't going to be a very long video, despite trying to write longer notes. There we go. Down below. Think of the Eiffel Tower. The hands of the Gestapo. I have something you must deliver at once. It is I, Michelle. He made me redundant. Michelle squeezing by René in the doorway is quite funny. By his manners. How unusual. Saturday night. And the Undertaker gets increasingly stimulated. And Mimi in diving gear. Huh. How settling, I guess. Don't know if the camera picked that noise up. Preferable to kiss you when you come out. Round the bend. Unless they've not paid. she's not in here. And Yvette has to restart the Undertaker's heart. And they pour wine through, of course. One way or another, it will all end up down there. Goodyear. Cheap wine does not travel well. And they still have the machine. The look on their faces. Whatever it was, he said. And finally... wait for it. All in Disgeese. And... there we are. Almost got it. There. Trying to decode it. And the cheese moves. Stop for you. Only once. What a surprise. Come back, there is more. They will brandish their batons. What will the neighbors think? Terrible news, General. We must start. I have to wonder if the people writing the show were the ones to translate the French and German songs into English, or if that was already done. Rotten, shut up. The tea bag. My word. I have a strange desire to hang upside down. And Yvette's last name is Carte Blanche. My hearing has become very acute. And Mimi's eating fruit and is upside down. And squeaking. And Edith understands the squeaking. And then she starts hissing. Free cigarettes! Pretty helmet. Neither hide nor hair. So much Crabtree they had to start a second and third pile. So much baton and bread brandishing. And the General immediately recognized her. The General said it first, like it's a children's game or something. There it was. René travels faster than the speed of sound, apparently. Your thwart is smaller. And René does the up yours arm movement. Hang around. Oh, it's Batwoman. This was a pretty good season finale. And those are my notes. I wasn't trying to go fast in fear that the camera would crap out again, but yeah, have not found a solution to that. I had to plug it into, I don't know, 5 different USB ports before finally accepted it properly. But yeah, and I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to say what video will be next week. But yeah, that's halfway through Allo Allo. It's weird when I watched it when I was younger and I didn't know how many episodes there were. It felt like there were more, but after a while they just repeated the older episodes. So, and I guess by then I had forgotten that I'd watched them or something, or I'd forgotten enough of the jokes. But anyway, once again, I enjoyed recording this, and I hope you enjoyed watching it.